corporations make profits in direct proportion to what they sell. So consumerism is something they must promote. Not only must they promote consumerism, but they must turn into a commodity things that aren't commodities. Water is not a commodity. Seed is not a commodity. Food is not a commodity. But they must take this because by turning it into a commodity, they can then make the profits. And of course, they get politicians to do their work for them. And that is why I talk about current systems of governance are corporate states. The state functions for the corporation, not for the public, for big business, big money. How do you deal with them? I think to not be consumers is totally in our hands. Consumption. And there are two ways that you can do that. One is opt for simplicity. And through that find more meaning in life. And the second is to reclaim the commons. Because when things are shared, you don't have to buy them. When you have your water spring and you share it, you don't have to buy the water. When you have your own seeds, which is why we built Navdanya, you don't have to buy the costly seeds of Monsanto. And that means you reduce your waste and your costs, and you increase the meaning of your life, you increase the happiness in your life. And I want to just end this by telling an anecdote. About 15 years ago, it must have been, I'd been invited to the G8 summit in Denver. And just like our wonderful young people came to pick me up at the airport last boy who'd come to pick me up at the Denver airport. So I get into the car and I start talking. So I said, "Where do you study?" And he says, "Oh, I finished studying." And I said, "So what do you do now?" "I've retired." 25. I said, "How can you retire at 25? He said, "No, I finished studying and I worked out that if I work for 4 years in a bank, and put that money aside and live simply, I can be a volunteer for good causes the rest of my life." So he worked his freedom out of spending less and not being a consumer. It's a very good book, and I don't know if it's available in Chinese, and if it's not, get it translated. It's called Your Money or Your Life, and it's the American Simplicity Movement. And I'm talking because this is out of consumerism they've come out. Of course, the poor don't even have enough to live, so forget that. That's imposed austerity, IMF style, is not what I'm talking about. Voluntary reduction of waste and consumption.
这是非常精辟的建议。那个至于要怎么样对应这些。